Captain Vera Lynn of the Elven Collective adjusted her crystalline headset as the distress signal crackled through the bridge of her vessel, the Star Wind. The transmission came from the Outer Rim territories, a region most civilized species avoided, due to its harsh conditions and primitive inhabitants. "Captain, the signal originates from a planet designated Terra 3, reported her navigation officer, her pointed ears twitching with concern. "The inhabitants call themselves humans." Vera Lynn frowned, her violet eyes scanning the data streams. Humans were classified as a Deathworld species, evolved on a planet so hostile that most galactic citizens considered them little more than savage barbarians. Their world boasted deadly weather patterns, toxic plant life, and predators that would terrify even the most hardened space marines. "Plot a course," she commanded, despite her reservations. 3 days later, the Star Wind emerged from hyperspace alongside the nebula's Grace, a sleek vessel belonging to the Altarian Federation. Commander Zira stepped onto the bridge, her blue-tinted skin gleaming under the ship's bioluminescent panels. The Altarian female possessed the typical ethereal beauty of her species, with large silver eyes and flowing tendrils instead of hair. "Vera Lynn, I trust you received the same distress call," Zira said, her voice carrying the melodic quality common to her people. "Indeed, though I question the wisdom of responding to a signal from Deathworlders." The two ships descended toward the blue-green planet below. According to galactic records, Terra housed over 7 billion humans who somehow thrived in conditions that would kill most species within hours. The atmospheric composition alone contained dangerous levels of oxygen, a highly reactive gas that accelerated aging and caused rapid cellular deterioration in most galactic citizens. As they entered the lower atmosphere, both captains expected to find a primitive civilization desperately calling for help. Instead, they discovered something that defied all expectations. The source of the distress signal emanated from a massive space station orbiting Terra's single moon. The structure dwarfed both alien vessels combined, its hull constructed from materials neither captain recognized. Weapon emplacements lined its surface, though they remained powered down in a gesture of non-aggression. "This is Admiral Kate Morrison of the Terran Defense Coalition," came a crisp voice over the communication channels. "Thank you for responding to our distress call. We require immediate assistance with a galactic-level threat." Vera Lynn exchanged glances with Zira's image on the view screen. The human spoke with the confidence of someone accustomed to command, not the desperate pleading they had expected from a primitive world. "Admiral Morrison, this is Captain Vera Lynn of the Elven Collective and Commander Zira of the Altarian Federation. What assistance do you require?" "We've detected a void swarm approaching the galactic core. Our long-range sensors indicate they'll reach civilized space within 6 standard months. We need to coordinate a defense with all spacefaring species." The blood drained from Vera Lynn's face. Void swarms were legendary nightmares, ancient predators that consumed entire star systems. No recorded civilization had ever successfully fought one off. "Admiral, with respect, your species has not yet achieved full galactic integration. How could you possibly detect something our most advanced monitoring stations missed?" A pause, followed before Admiral Morrison responded. "Captain, would you be willing to come aboard? I believe a demonstration would be more effective than explanation." Against all protocol and common sense, both alien commanders agreed to transport to the human station. They materialized in a docking bay that bustled with activity. Humans moved with purpose and efficiency, their movements quick and precise in ways that made both visitors uncomfortable. These beings radiated an energy that seemed barely contained. Admiral Morrison greeted them personally. She stood slightly shorter than the elegant elves, but possessed a compact, muscular frame that spoke of physical capability far beyond what either alien species maintained. Her brown hair was pulled back severely, and her green eyes held an intensity that made both captains step back involuntarily. "Welcome aboard Luna Station. If you'll follow me, I'll show you our detection array." They walked through corridors lined with technology that shouldn't have existed. The humans had somehow developed gravitic manipulation, quantum processing, cores, and energy weapons that operated on principles neither the elves nor Altarians fully understood. "How did your species advance so rapidly?" Zira asked, her silver eyes wide with amazement. "Necessity," Admiral Morrison replied simply. When you live on a world that actively tries to kill you every day, you either adapt quickly or die. We've been preparing for threats like the Void Swarm for the past 50 years. They entered a command center that made both alien ships look primitive by comparison. Holographic displays showed the entire galaxy in real time, with a dark mass moving inexorably toward the core systems. The scale of the approaching threat became immediately apparent. Our projections show the swarm will hit the Centauri colonies first, Morrison explained, manipulating the display with casual expertise. Then they'll move through Altarian space before reaching the collective's outer worlds. Virulin stared at the tactical readouts. Even if we mobilized every ship, in our fleets we couldn't stop something of this magnitude. That's why we need a different approach, Morrison said, activating another display. We propose using the asteroid belt around our system as a manufacturing base. Human industrial capacity can produce weapons and ships faster than any other species, but we need your advanced materials and power generation technology. You want us to arm Deathworlders? Zira's melodic voice carried a note of fear. Morrison's expression hardened. Commander, in 6 months, the Void Swarm will begin consuming every world you've ever known. Right now, we're the only species with both the industrial capacity and the willingness to fight something that terrifying. The question isn't whether you trust us. The question is whether you want to survive. Over the following hours, the 3 commanders worked through tactical projections and resource allocations. The humans' plans were ambitious beyond anything either alien species had imagined, but the mathematics were sound. More importantly, their psychological profiles showed no hesitation when facing impossible odds. Why did you call for help? Virulin finally asked. Your technology seems adequate to handle this alone. Morrison smiled grimly. Because we're not trying to survive this war. We're trying to win it. And winning requires making sure every species in the galaxy can defend itself when the next threat emerges. As their shuttles departed Luna Station, both alien commanders found themselves fundamentally changed by the encounter. They had come expecting to rescue primitive Deathworlders, and instead discovered that perhaps the galaxy's salvation lay with the very species they had dismissed as barbaric. The humans hadn't just survived their hostile world. They had transformed that experience into an unshakable determination to protect others from the darkness between the stars. The Deathworlders were no longer asking for help. They were offering it.